Dokes, hi guys! Hello, Chabad Youth Kids! Welcome to my kitchen. We are going to have so much fun today, exploring some science in our science club, and it's going to be kitchen science because being stuck at home, of course we're not stuck, but enjoying our families at home. While we enjoy our families at home, there are so many fun things you can be doing in your house, in your kitchen, with your mother's permission. And while we're doing them today, you guys are welcome to either go into your own kitchen cabinets. Everything we're using should be somewhere in there. And you can pull things out and join us and do the exact same things alongside us. Or if you want, you can always go back later and the video will be available after it's played live. You can always replay it and do it then. Okay? So in our kitchen today are two main ingredients, which are really fun ones. You've for sure used them in the past. With any kind of fun science you've done, are our classic vinegar and baking soda combo. So we're going to start off with a little bit of vinegar in a cup, and then I'm going to add a little bit of baking soda, and then I'm going to really quickly pull a glove right over the top and say hi to all of you guys. This is my hi, my start off hi. It might be an exploding hi. There we go. But if you put a rubber band around, it can stay on, and sometimes it'll even stay on for hours. There's a little bit of fizz still left inside. It'll fill up again, and you can use a balloon and do the exact same thing on top of any bottle, and you'll end up getting that same reaction, and the balloon will totally fill up. So we're saying hi from my little cup here, and we're really saying hi to all the wonders of Hashem's world. The world is filled with amazing things. There's minerals and resources and elements that are awesome, really cool, and they teach us so much about the tiny bit we wouldn't even understand or begin to grasp of Hashem's wonderful wisdom and what he gave us in nature. So I love science. I've been having a lot of fun with science forever. And before I moved to Australia, I used to teach science, and I had a lot of fun with my students. So today we're going to have a little bit of fun working with vinegar and baking soda. I'm going to do all the experiments with vinegar and baking soda. So if you guys want to whip them out of your cabinets and follow along with some of them, you definitely can, or again, you can replay it after. So vinegar is something that you usually use in salads and different things like that. It's pretty strong in smell, at least. Baking soda doesn't smell so much, but it actually is a really strong, has really strong properties. And if we end up having a lot of weeks of science online, maybe we'll spend a little bit of time exploring acids and bases, but this is a pretty strong base. So vinegar and baking soda get together and they create something fabulous. It's the same gas that you actually exhale all the time. And it's the same gas, if you've got one of these, same gas that you fill a soda stream with, the same gas that you drink if you drink seltzer or soda water. All of that has carbon dioxide, which is very similar, of course, to oxygen and carbon combined. Sounds a little bit similar to carbon monoxide, which is a very dangerous gas. Carbon dioxide is very different, not really in the chemical composition, it's a slight nuance of a difference, but that slight nuance makes a massive world of a difference. If you guys have a carbon monoxide detector, that's a very important thing to have in your house to keep you guys safe. it makes sure that you don't have any of that gas roaming around your house. But carbon dioxide that we're going to work with today together is totally safe, and you can even, like I said, consume it yourself. In the soda stream, if you've ever changed it, inside, right here, hiding inside, is actually a gas bottle, and that gas bottle is what we use to add that fizz. So what I do is, we fill it up with water, twist it on. This is usually the kids' job in my house, and it's a really fun one. It's super noisy, and you just push that little button there, and if you can see that release of all the bubbles that are going inside, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick it up. You can actually hear it. Yeah. So that's carbon dioxide being released. So really, carbon dioxide that's right now in this bottle of the soda water that I just made is the exact same thing that gets together, the same gas that gets produced when you mix vinegar and baking soda together. So really, we can produce the exact same exciting experiment that I just showed you guys with the gloves. I'm going to take the glove off. And if I would shake up my bottle here a little bit, and it's a little bit wet, so I'm going to get another glove that's drier. Hang in there. And if I'm going to shake up my bottle just a bit, so I'm going to make sure that activate all of those little gas bubbles inside, and then release a little bit of them. So I'm putting a tiny bit of band. You can use any kind of ponytail, anything like that. I'm going to actually be able to do the exact same thing as I did with vinegar and baking soda in my High from Chabad Youth. We can do the exact same thing in your house with any soda water bottle that you've got. If you have your own one to make, they're really fun to watch. You can do it with that, or you can do it here with the soda stream one. You see? Filled up with carbon dioxide, okay? So that's the stuff that's filling this bottle right now, filling this glove right now, and it actually is making all the bubbles that are going on in the bottle. What we're gonna keep going on to now is lots of fun ways to combine vinegar and baking soda that you can enjoy watching combination in action, okay? So goodbye from this little friend, as spooky as it kind of looks. And let's move on to the next one. Okay, so if you were wondering, when we get back to packing lunches for school, of course, the best type of way to pack your lunch is to put it in something that's biodegradable or something that's really nice to the environment, like paper. But if you're gonna use Ziploc bags, Kohl's is the way to go. They're definitely cheap and affordable, and I'm gonna show you just how strong they are. So in this experiment, I'm gonna put some vinegar, about 1/4 cup, into my Ziploc. Then I'm going to take a tissue that dissolves really easily. So I just took a square of toilet paper. Seal that for a minute so the vinegar doesn't go traveling all over my countertop. And I'm going to take my little square of toilet paper and put about 2, or maybe 2 and a bit, heaping bits of baking soda inside. I'm going to pinch that all together, make a nice little sachet there. And I'm going to open the Ziploc, but not fully, because I don't want all the vinegar to go flying out. I'm going to open it just a bit. If you see, I'm holding on to, oh, the words might be blocking it. I'll turn that around. I'm hanging on to my little pouch here of baking soda that's wrapped up in the tissue. And I'm going to zip it sealed and show you guys just how strong our Kohl's Ziplocs are. So if you see what's going on right now in our Ziploc right in front of me, if you can see it popping up, I hope you can see it popping up. It's getting really nice and puffy. It's hard for me to see what you guys can see, but I'm gonna wait to see just how puffy it gets and how much our Kohl's bag can resist in the process. Fuller and fuller and fuller. It's moving just a bit. This is one really fun way to spend the last bit of your lunch break. If you're wondering, on your way to the bin, and you're about to throw out your rubbish, and you're wondering what you do with the Ziploc, if you come with a water bottle, to school that had just a bit of vinegar inside and fill the rest of it with baking soda, and then you all heard the pop. You can make exploding lunch bags. I've tried that many a time, and sometimes you'd actually see it pop up and hold for hours. But from my experience, the Kohl's bags really hold for a very long time. So that's our little exploding lunch bag here. If you try it with bigger amounts, you can make real explosions in your kitchen with your mother's permission. And you can also experiment with all different types of Ziplocs. You can add some color, because when you add color, all experiments get much more fun. Let's add some color to the next one we're going to do today. Okie dokes. So for the next one, I love lava lamps. They're gorgeous. And lava lamps, usually, when you've seen them, often they're going to be like electric ones, and sometimes with all that kind of bubbles really only happening in the image. And often, it's going to be one that you make yourself. Usually you have to use Alka-Seltzer tabs. But today, because we're sticking with our vinegar baking soda combo, we're not going to use Alka-Seltzer tabs. Instead, we're going to stick with vinegar and baking soda. So let's start with our baking soda. Baking soda, by the way, I keep calling it baking soda. In Australia, lots of people call it bicarb. Bicarb soda is the same as baking soda. You'll have to bear with my baking soda description. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is put about 3 spoons of baking soda or bicarb into your bottle. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly measured. It can just sit at the bottom, okay? This bottle can be really any size. It's just pretty. I chose a tall one because I thought it was really nice to be able to see the lava lamp in action, okay? Now, the next thing we're gonna do is take oil, any oil. I'm just using regular canola oil here. And you're gonna fill about 2/3 of the bottle with canola oil. Again, it doesn't have to be an exact measurement. Now, once you fill it, you don't have to mix anything. You can just leave it. I'm gonna put a tiny bit more. It'll be easier for you guys to see. Okay, now just for fun, I've prepared a bit of vinegar here. I'm going to mix this bit of vinegar with a bit of color just to make things more fun, because color always makes things more fun. So say, I'll put in about 3 drops. I chose blue, but choose whatever color you like. And I'm using regular food dye. Okie dokes. Once your color is kind of settling in, you can give it a little bit of a mix, just like that. This is just vinegar colored blue. Okay, now the fun part. So you're going to start dripping it slowly into your oil and baking soda combo. And when the vinegar starts interacting with that little bit of baking soda that's sitting all the way at the bottom, something stunning happens. Get ready. Check it out. You see those bubbles starting to rise up like a real lava lamp? You can hear the fizzing. I can hear the fizzing. I'm going to turn the light off so you can even see it better. It's fun. Let's see if we can do this. I'm still here. Check this out, guys. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. I keep adding little bits, and it seriously looks like a real lava lamp. And it also lasts a really long time. So you don't have to add it fast. You can add it slowly. Makes these really cool bubbling reactions. I'll turn the lights back on. And try to get my flashlight back off. Makes these really cool bubbling reactions, and it looks stunning. I'll bring it a little bit closer to the camera so you guys can see. Here we go. How insanely awesome is that? And all you need is vinegar, baking soda, oil, and food coloring, but not a necessity, just for fun. You could even try it with other colors and have a whole bunch of colors lined up with your vinegar and try dripping in one color at a time. So cool. I'm actually going to take our lava lamp and cover it up. And we'll keep it like that for a little while. It can be our new kitchen design. There we go. So now we know all about baking soda and vinegar combining and producing carbon dioxide. And you've actually seen the carbon dioxide because when we filled up that glove and all those things, it was taking up space. Kind of hard to see it because it's clear or see-through, but you could see that it's actually filling up space. So I'm going to show you not only how it can fill up space, but it can actually get things moving. So for this one, you guys need to find a container that has a lid that easily comes off. So like a popper lid. So it doesn't have to be, just thinking what other items you'd have around the house. It shouldn't be a container that has something that screws on and it gets really tightly locked in, but something like this that kind of like easily pops on and off is fabulous. It doesn't have to be this wide at all. I actually like it when it's even smaller. And get that size container or any size container, but with the right kind of lid, and make sure it's empty. Now, don't empty containers without your mother's permission, but you can empty the contents with her permission. There's just a little bit left. So for this one, you're gonna have to act fast. So first, our vinegar. Let's add our vinegar inside. And then we're gonna put a good shake of baking soda. And act fast. I wasn't fast enough, but let's see what happens now. And with that, our vinegar and baking soda combined very quickly. You saw so quickly that I had a hard time putting the lid on. It popped off right away, or the first round almost did. But the vinegar and baking soda are acting together really fast, okay? They're producing that gas that I was telling you guys about. Now, as they produce the gas, okay, that gas is filling up this entire container. It fills up the entire container and the whole container has nowhere for the air to go. So it starts creating a lot of pressure inside and it builds up and builds up until your lid takes a trip and goes somewhere. Now, another really fun thing to do if you've got time, and I think these days you've got time, is before you do the experiment, take some paper and scissors, and you can get as colorful as you want. You can add some triangle shapes, okay, to the sides here, and then a cone shape to the top here. And what do you think that's supposed to look like? You got it, a rocket. And then when you do the exact same experiment, the rocket lid takes off and flies places. You can decorate your base for your Nassau company that takes place in your kitchen, and you can make any designs of the rocket on top of the lid as well. A really fun one. Let's put this one away. There we go. Now, one of the really fun baking soda and vinegar combos that everybody's tried at some point, and I hope you've all tried it at some point, in school or life or whatnot, is the volcano. So a really fun way to do the volcano is actually to create a little bit of a volcano yourself. So you can take any bottle that has a little bit of a more narrow opening. So let's say, for example, Snapple bottles are great, something like that. And you can take regular clay or earth or literally dirt from outside and mud it up, you know, make it into a little bit of a Play-Doh kind of feel texture and mat it all around the outside. If you make a homemade Play-Doh and make it brown, that works perfectly. And you can make a real cool looking volcano that also would take pretty much just household ingredients. And after you have your volcano, I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat because I like this one. We once bought this one. It has a really narrow top, like a seriously narrow opening. And what's really fun about the really narrow opening is that the volcano effect is very visible. Okie dokes. Okay, so vinegar, our first ingredient. And now to be able to get any ingredient or supply, etc., into a narrow opening, the best thing to use, and I keep this and use it all the time, you can use it in baking or cooking, you can definitely use it in science experiments, is a funnel. And a funnel is a really simple tool. It has a wider opening and a narrow bottom, so it's going to keep all that liquid from kind of pouring all around the bottle and just go directly from a wider top, narrows everything straight into the bottle. So funnels are fabulous. You're going to put the funnel right on top of your any size bottle. So if you were using You know, the Snapple bottle that I was describing before, you can use a funnel art into that. Snapple bottle has a bit of a wider spout, so it might be easier to pour things straight in. But really, any size bottle that you're using for the volcano could benefit from the funnel because it'll put things in gradually. So I'm going to take vinegar. Let's say it's definitely under half a cup, maybe a third of a cup, something like that. And we're going to put that straight into my volcano. So the funnel's slowly letting it in. And all's gone straight down to the bottom. Now, just because I like things colorful, I'm going to take some red dye and add a few drops so that when we create a real volcanic explosion, it's going to be visible and it's going to be colorful. So you can do 3 or so squirts of any color food dye. I chose red. Definitely feels like a good lava color. And the next part, which is where I'm going to have to act really fast. You see the top of this volcano comes with a really narrow spot, like a hole, and it's going to force everything through it very forcefully. I hope you're going to get to be able to see it well on camera. It might just make a mess of the kitchen, but that's part of all the fun of science experiments in our homes. And the funnel is going to be essential, and also to act really fast. But if you're doing this with a bit of a wider spout or a taller bottle, the reaction won't happen as fast. So if you've got any bottle and you've got a cover and you want to try to make it narrow, so let's say, for example, a Snapple bottle. So I don't actually have the cover here anymore. You can ask one of your parents, take the lid, you can nail in an actual nail and just puncture the top of the lid. So you'll end up with the same idea, a bottle that you're using for a volcano with a really narrow top, a little hole at the top, because it makes the reaction so much fun to watch. And if you've ever watched a real life volcanic explosion, which I hope nobody's watched in real life, but at least pretended to watch in real life, it's definitely not one that you can watch from up close. What I will mention is that we're working with our science, our elements that we're using today are, thank God, very kitchen friendly, so they're not dangerous. But I will tell you that especially when you work with any type of experimentation that's going to produce a reaction, you're not always sure what kind of reaction, especially when you experiment and hypothesize. Hopefully those words are familiar words for some of you who are starting out in the science careers. You would want to make sure that you've got the right protection around. In this case, the right protection would probably have been an apron, but yeah, scratch that because I didn't bring one. Goggles would be a really good one. So that would be the kind of thing that would actually be eye protection. In this case, they're fun to wear, but I don't really mind getting my face a bit squirted with this stuff. But for proper eye protection, especially when you're dealing with chemicals, it's a good idea to be wearing and have good science goggles around. And other types of protection that you might want to wear are gloves. In this case, the things that we're dealing with, even though baking soda could be used for cleaning, etc., it's not so abrasive. So you don't have to wear gloves, but it's definitely a good idea to wear gloves. And also very practically, because when you're dealing with food dye, you're going to have nicely colored fingers forever. So I love wearing gloves for all these types of science experiments. It prevents a lot of skin rubbing and cleaning after. Now, in the case of this science experiment, we've already put our vinegar inside. We've added our food dye. Now all we got to do is add some baking soda. So guys, or bicarb. So if you're joining me and you're using a bottle or even a bowl, try to use something that gets a little bit narrower as you go up. You're not going to need all that much baking soda. I'm actually just took 1 heaping spoon. Now reminding you, I told you this has to work really quickly because the reaction is going to start happening right away. Like you saw with all the other experiments that we did, we're going to start taking vinegar, baking soda, producing the gas called carbon dioxide. And that carbon dioxide is going to force not all, but some of the contents of this volcano to make a full eruption. Guys ready? Well, you're not the ones getting red and colorful and wet, so I hope you're ready. Am I ready? Now that's a good question. Let's slowly start putting in our bicarb. And I am twisting on our volcanic eruption. Can you guys see what's going on here? I've got a beautiful volcano that was faster than me, but it was squirting out the top, and I've still got lava bubbling here inside. I've got this gorgeous pool of lava spreading out on my counter that will hopefully not be red forever. And here, of course, you can see once again the results, the really fun results of combining two simple kitchen ingredients that makes for really fun productions of awesome gases. So guys, the next time we meet up, we're going to be working with something that, well, we might be working with something that's slightly more dangerous than these type of kitchen ingredients. But I hope you guys had fun today. I hope you're going to be having fun in your own kitchens and making sure that it's not just my kitchen that's a mess in Melbourne. Right, guys? Come on, a little avocado here. And we hope to see you guys again next week. There's brand new clubs. Look out for the flyers. We have some awesome volunteers who are pitching in. And thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and let's get back to your homework.
And thank you, Miri. And just for those, before you leave, if you want to watch one more time, for those that missed it, we had a very special Chabad Youth competition for our signs. So pay attention, and big mazel tov to Izzy Schechter. First of all, mazel tov to all of you that worked so hard on it, whether those amazing signs, some of you made real parades, the details in every sign, and a big mazel tov. Great job. We keep going. Parade indoors or outdoors. We will rock. And here goes for our very special competition. And the winner, as mentioned, Izzy Schechter.
Cape Town, Moscow, and Spain. Dancing in Chicago, singing in LA. The great parade is going on, a worldwide mitzvah train. Parade, parading, join together hand in hand. Parade, parading, onward to the promised land. Parade, parading, wave your banner to the sky. Parade, parading, come on and join the ride.
One nation, all united. We're marching young and old. One people, love divided. We're moving on, let's go. Parade, parading,
Join together hand in hand. Parade, parading, onward to the promised land.
parade, parading,
Wave your banner to the sky. Parade, parading, come on and join the ride. Dancing in your backyard, singing in your streets. Surely you will join us. Let's sing now, you and me. You and me. Parade, parading, join together hand in hand. Parade, parading, onward to the promised land. Parade, parading, wave your banner to the sky. Parade, parading,
come on and join the ride.
the world in celebration, young soldiers standing tall. I hope for generations. It's time to hear the call. Parade, parading, join together hand in hand. Parade, parading, onward to the promised land. Parade, parading, wave your banner to the sky. Parade, parading, come on and join the ride. Parading, join together hand in hand. Parade, parading, onward to the promised land. Parade, parading, wave your banner to the sky. Parade, parading, come on and join the ride. One mitzvah brings another, it's like a golden chain. Now we must stand together, you see we're all the same. Parade, parading, join together hand in hand. Parade, parading, onward to the promised land. Parade, parading, wave your banner to the sky. Parade, parading, come on and join in our parade. Parading, join together hand in hand. together hand in hand, parade, parading, onward to the promised land, parade, parading, wave your banner to the sky, parade, parading, come on and join the ride. One mitzvah brings another, it's like a golden chain. Now we must stand together, you see we're all the same, parade, parading, join together hand in hand, parade, parading, onward to the